Crazy, crazy. Oh my goodness. Everything has been on the fritz. It's definitely a Monday. And I haven't had a Monday in a long time. I know I'm starting a little late, a couple minutes late. Bear with me. I deeply apologize. Let's see here. I guess I don't need this one. I need this one. Title. I need this right here. How is everybody's Monday going? I had a great surf session this morning. This weekend was awesome. ESA Awards. And then we surfed last evening. An error occurred. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. This is getting on my nerves so bad. Copy. Okay. Edit. No. Okay. Sending data. Streaming. Please go live. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Nothing was working. I had to reset the cameras. My audio wasn't working. It's okay. I've gotten better at this over the past couple weeks, and it's been crazy. We are watching my friends' kids until their mother gets off work, and it's kind of throwing a kink in the schedule. I'm not even lying. I'm worn out. I absolutely destroyed my biceps and back and shoulders Friday. I mean, destroyed them. Moving to a high intensity, uh, high rep workout, and I overdid it. Overdid it. I ended up doing like 350, 375 push ups. I did 250 during the workout and then the rest after. And I just destroyed myself. So, all right. So, the last thing I have to do is I've got to pull up the Facebook. We just went over this crud the last time. When you do this, personal pages do not pull up, so that's okay. Like, I want to be able to see the comments and stuff, so I can make sure to comment on my personal page. I can see the business, the actual page itself. So, but as far as personal, oh my gosh, there's so much going on my screen. I may not even use a timer today. I forgot about this sweet little booger right here. Here we go. Let's see. Bam. No, I'll be gravy. I'll be gravy. Let's put the timer there. And then I need this over here. Let's put this here. This here. We've got so much going on this coming up month. It's not even funny, y'all. We've got regionals coming up. We've got the Eddie coming up. And there's so many other competitions going on right now. It's crazy. There's another one going on. I forgot the name of it. I think it's the same. I want to say it's the same weekend as regionals. So it's very busy, busy, busy for the Florida East Coast right now. Go home. Come on. There we are. Okay. Make sure I got that turned off because I don't want to catch the feedback. Bum, 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 bum. There you go. Okay. Turned it off. We're good to go. So, good evening, everybody. This is Next Set Live by Blue Wave. I am your host, Matthew G. We're going over episode 6 today. Corporate influence in surfing, coming from firsthand experience and also over the past 4 years of doing my due diligence, not only as a company, but as a surfer in competitions and a parent to a surfer and friends and other businesses. So this one is going to definitely rattle some cages. I am almost guarantee you. Luckily, I'm not massive. I mean, we are growing exponentially. The views that are going through Facebook alone, I've doubled. I've doubled the views in a short period of time. So thank you so much for all that, for viewing, following, sharing, the whole shebang. It's been absolutely epic. So we got to take with the good, with the bad, and sometimes we're going to touch on subjects that are going to rub some people the wrong way, and quite frankly, I don't care. I'm here to give the truth, the raw truth, but do it in a respectful manner. And I've been really looking forward to. It is a Monday. I'm telling you, it's a Monday. I've been really looking forward to this one, especially for all my entry level people that are getting into the surf industry as surfers and businesses also. Like I said, today is episode 6, corporate influence in surfing. Real quick shout out to our sponsors, Charming Shark, Foxy Surf Wax, and Prince Boards. Also, a major shout out to Ricky Carroll and all the work that he does locally, not just for me, but for my daughter and for a lot of surfers out here. The dude's phenomenal. If you get a chance, go check him out. There's a lot of great shapers up and down the east coast of Florida, and so on and so forth. But this is my territory per se. I can't say my home territory. I don't think I've been here long enough yet. I'm not localized yet. I haven't gotten the stamp of approval. It's coming. I know it's coming. But anyways, we're just gonna jump right into this. This is a Monday. I don't even have my coffee, and I desperately need my coffee. But let's do this. Today we're going to be talking about corporate influence in surfing. This is something a lot of people do not truly, fully understand. And I'm putting emphasis on that, especially newer surfers coming into the sport. Surfing started as a lifestyle. We all know this. Everybody knows surfing was a way of life. If you dig deep back into it, it had such a cultural influence. It's almost I don't want to call it a religion, but that's how deep it goes. A culture built around freedom, individuality, and a connection to the ocean, which is the key and, quite frankly, most important part of the whole thing. But over time, we all know, guys, big money entered the sport. And I'm talking big money. And when money comes in, we all know, inevitably, things change. It changes businesses, it changes people, and it changes anyone that's actually tied to it, including the industry itself. And today we're going to break down how corporations, good and bad, impact competitions, sponsorships, and we're going to split this also, the surf industry overall and the culture of surfing. It's very important that we make sure we differentiate those two. For all my people that don't quite get it, surfing is the true last sport that's a culture, that it changes people's lifestyle from 3 years old all the way to the day they stop surfing, which, like I've said before, there are a ton of people that are in surfing well into their 80s. I want to think I was told of a guy that was in his 90s surfing, but I haven't personally seen it. I've personally seen an 85-year-old out there surfing, and this is going to break all those down for everybody so they can truly understand the good, the bad, and we're going to say the ugly about corporate influence. We see it today all across sports, football, baseball, basketball, NASCAR. We see it in schools. We see it in our government bodies. It's something we cannot get away from. And I am going to fix my screen. It is bugging the snot out of me. I'm sure it's noticeable on that. Let me get this over. Nope, wrong one. Sorry, fellas and ladies. Like I said, everything went to poop this morning. You know, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. It's a Monday. Let me get back on track. Sorry. It's a Monday. Thank goodness it was a good surf day. If you got out early. Let's jump right into this. Let's start with the big elephant in the room. Corporate brands and sponsorship power. Companies like Quicksilver, Billabong, Rip Curl, and there's a couple of others have played a massive role into shaping modern surfing. That's just clothing brands. We're not even talking about shapers or what we're moving into now, which we hit on last episode, these wannabe shaping boards that certain individuals are pushing over hand-shaped boards. They fund major competitions, professional surfers, media, and marketing. On one hand, this is a good thing. Without sponsorship money, for the most part, a lot of pro surfers wouldn't be able to compete full-time. All the way down to semi-pro to amateur. It trickles down. Events wouldn't exist at the scale they do today. But there is another side to it. When brands invest money, and rightfully so, they expect returns. Who doesn't? You invest money into something, you want to see a positive return on your money. That means marketable athletes get more opportunities. Image can be better, can matter as much as performance. If you have some knucklehead representing you, and that doesn't align with what your company profile is looking for, that can hurt. Decisions can be influenced by branding, not just talent. A lot of surfers get pushed because they're easy to market. They're easy on the eyes. They don't buck the system. They do as they're told. They get up in front of the mic and they say exactly what needs to be said, according to who is backing them. Others may be just as skilled, but they're less visible. And a lot of that comes to, do those individuals fit the narrative? Does the companies fit the narrative? So on and so forth. We're not dumb. We all know how this game is played. That's where things really start to shift from pure to more business. And when I say that, let me break that down more easy on the ears. Surfing is a pure sport. Yes, surfing can be very hostile, very dangerous, depending on where you're at. And if you're understanding what I've spoken about in the previous episodes about surf etiquette and knowing where you're at and actually what you're doing, I am hitting everything today. That's what happens. But at the core of surfing, it is a very, very pure sport. It's about connecting. God, I need coffee. Um, it's about connecting with the ocean, connecting with your fellow surfers, leaving everything at the beach, going out as one entity. We're one entity when we're in the water. Like every other activity, every other sport, every other country, government body, surf shop, business, what have you. There's always a few people that go in there and mess everything up because they want to be the loudest. They don't want to conform to the purity of surfing itself. That's what I mean. When you get big players involved to market and you get to a certain size, it's almost as if you have the monopoly effect that controls, and we are seeing it so prevalent right now. It's not even funny. I'm fairly new to the surf industry and surfing itself, and how quickly I've noticed it's changed in the past 4 years is mind-boggling, and I'm not even deep into it. Um, that should scare a lot of people. You got a guy freshly coming in. Yes, I've been around surfing. Yes, I know of surfing. Um, yes, I lived in one of the meccas of surfing, Hawaii. Um, but when I finally got plugged in, a newbie, the new guy on the block, it's changing that rapidly, and not for good. There's a lot of great things about surfing, and there's a lot of amazing surf competitions and businesses trying to fight. We're going to just say the corporate giant. You don't have to be a mega corporation to be considered uh, a mega corporation, if that makes any sense. You could be a massive name in the surf industry, and not be what your typical person would think is major corporation. There's a lot of them out there. Certain when they have a grasp on a certain section of surfing. So we can just say surfing wax. There are one or two companies out there that really have the market locked down. Their name is so powerful and big that it makes it very difficult. And that's what I'm saying. That's where one or two episodes ago, it may have been two or three, when I talked about me coming in as a business, um, you really have to be careful because it all ties into this right here. Um, this is important to understand when we talk about these things, to not get away from the love of the sport and the love of the lifestyle. But I'm gonna be blunt and honest with everybody that's listening or that's gonna listen. If more of y'all do not stand up and start saying the heck with y'all, we will do our own thing, or we will branch off and start bringing awareness on really what's going on. It's going to be completely, it's not going to be what surfing was intended to be and what it should still be. It's hanging on by a thread. Um, that being said, we're going to talk about the competitions themselves. Organizations like the WSL run the biggest events in the world. And while they promote the sport, they also operate as a business. Now, pause for a minute. When I say these things, I'm saying it not only as you have to understand from a business standpoint, but you have to be able to pull yourself back. You have to look at it as a business standpoint, which I can do, and I can help translate to you. And then you have to look at it from the surfer standpoint, the cultural aspect of surfing itself. A business has to make money. That is their goal, is to make money. Understand that. Even me as a very small business, even me as revamping everything to do what I'm doing now. There's more and more people picking up on this. I literally just watched a segment about a pro surfer who lost a bunch of sponsors not too long ago because he injured himself, is now not doing this, but he's wanting to help do something where he's able to put a platform up to where the lower end, the beginners, the amateurs have a platform to be seen. So this isn't anything new. There's other podcasts, there's other live streaming services that are doing this very same thing. So, but we still have to make money. We still have to walk a thin line on how aggressive are we? What is the greater message that we're pushing? This is not free. Buying the equipment, taking the time to do this throughout the week, to use the gas money and the diesel, for me, diesel, to go and talk to other companies to promote, costs something. And I bring up WSL because they're so big, they're on a global scale. As a business owner myself and somebody who's been in business for a while, I get it. I understand. Events aren't free. It costs money. You choose locations partially for media value. Are you going to want to go and surf? I'll make up a name. Quadjunkalunka, that has a beautiful left, but it's junk. It's ugly. The beach is trashed. It's super aggressive. You have to worry about safety. No. Also, formats can be changed to attract viewers. All you got to do is look at the NFL. Certain teams play certain teams because of viewerships. I used to be big into watching the NFL. I'm talking big. Since I was knee-high to a pissant. I was born and raised a Cowboys fan. And then I realized this is all a show. But they're the most valuable franchise over the Patriots, over everybody else. Why? Because they're entertaining to watch. It's the same thing with surfing competitions. On a major level and on a low level. You're not going to go to competitions that promote smoking and drinking and all that with all the groms around. No, you're going to go to a surf competition. I'm just going to give these two shout outs because they run a very pure, tight-knit, BS doesn't go on. Gnarly Charlie's a great place for the kids. Safe. You've got tons of adults. Everybody's on the same page. And then you've got East Coast Grom Tour where he'll call you out on the mic. You're not going to be doing that in our surf zone, in our surf competition area, and that's so commendable. There's a lot of competitions out there. They don't care. Get drunk, smoke weed, do whatever you want to do, even in front of the kids. All that being said, this can affect surfers in real ways. Wave quality doesn't always come first. Sometimes, and it's sad to say this, it's about broadcasting, accessibility, and sponsor exposure. When I ran in politics, it's the same thing. When I ran, I didn't accept donations. I didn't promote donations. I'm not turning you away, so I shouldn't say I didn't accept them, but I didn't go looking for them. I didn't reach out to other organizations, big pocket people, and say, hey, I need you to sponsor me. I need you to donate. Because I'm here to tell you, if that's anything like what it is in politics, it's so easy to hide the money. It's very easy. And it's the same thing. When you take large donations, unless you put it rock solid and hold your ground, you are tied to your sponsors. Your sponsors are giving you $20 million. Guess what? Unless you've got some cojones and balls of steel, Most people are not going to turn that down. Most people are going to conform. They're going to say, okay, yeah, you know what? We'll even drop that number. We'll say, let's say one of the big sponsors in the surf industry hit me up and said, hey, we're going to give you, $35,000 a year. Here's what we want you to do. I have a line I will not cross. And a lot of businesses and a lot of people do not have that line, or they say they have it and they don't stick to it. Pay attention to these companies and these businesses. At the end of the day, we all want to make money. We all want to promote surfing. We all want to keep surfing pure. Most of us want to do this. And if you don't hold on and pay attention, it's going to go away. This goes back to what I talked about previously in the other episode about when you. Sorry, I'm fixing this. I know I'm off center. I'm going to be off center, but that was really bothering me. A lot of new people, and COVID has really pushed this. Was introduced to the surf industry and surfing, and that can be a great thing. But between the mixture of that, corporate overreach and greed, old hats not stepping aside and saying, hey, we're part of the problem still, and then surfing at its core, you have to be willing to stand up. You have to be willing to say, look, surfing has changed. And this is what I would say. Surfing has changed my life completely. Outside of the Lord Jesus Christ, surfing saved me. It saved my body. It saved my mind. It's pulled me out of some really dark places. And I'm watching, and you can see it anywhere. This isn't just for surfing, but it's so easy to spot in surfing. When you have the big names, when you have people that are only worried about certain major companies sponsoring them, sponsoring their events, that should tell you something. I stand firm on my beliefs, and if you come in here and hand me $45,000, $10 million, whatever, because I'm here to tell you the tax write-offs is what they are. Those are tax write-offs. As a business owner, sponsoring kids, sponsoring surf competitions, it's a write-off. You think legitimate? You think they're making money hand over fist? You really think so? I think not. Look at how much money they were dumping into pro sponsors, and it takes digging. I literally had to dig for months when I first started doing the Blue Wave Surf Apparel, and this is tying into the whole point of this, the corporate influence on surfing. It's buried. I could not find legit layouts for how do I sponsor? How do I know what to come in and sponsor? Yes, surf competitions have their tiers. That's just the base. But when you look at, I said a couple. I mean, you've got Oakley, O'Neill, you've got Rip Curl, Billabong, Quicksilver. The list goes on. As a small company, you have to compete against those, which is good because it makes you do your homework. It makes you actually pay attention and care. But there's so much money in those companies. It's just like with government and politics. I'm going to give you this. Here's what you're going to do. And rightfully so, your big sponsors should be at the top. Rightfully so. Sponsors should not tell you how to run your show. Sponsors come to your show because they like what you're doing or they're supposed to. Or sponsors come to your surf series because you have the following. At no point should sponsors sit there and tell a surf organization, a live streaming service, podcasts, surfers what to do. Now, that being said, yes, even I have a list of here's what we look for in a surfer. We don't want you to be promoting getting drunk, doing drugs, beating women, beating children, throwing your trash, things like that. Typically, though, if you're going to sponsor somebody, you do your homework and you don't really genuinely have to worry about it. You make sure it's in a contract. But here's the problem. There are so few companies and series and social media influencers that are willing to stand their ground. The great thing about this, though, is the surf community in itself is a very tight-knit group. That's what I found out. Not the surf industry, business-wise, the surf community, the people that's literally what they do on a daily basis. Guys that go out and girls that go out and surf literally every day. It's their addiction. They get out there, and if they don't surf, they're having a crappy day. It's literally that deep ingrained into who they are that they're willing to fight for it. And if you think I'm just trying to bark up trees and stir up trouble, that's not true. I'm just trying to give you a heads up on legit. If you don't stop this, it's not going to be the sport, because they are two separate things. The surf lifestyle and the surfing sport are two different things. They're within the same entity, but they're two different things. But if you don't make sure and I'm going to look at the camera and say this, if you don't make sure that you legitimately fight to keep it pure, it's not going to be pure. Not for much longer. You're going to have major surfers telling you, well, you should be doing this politically. That's why I stopped watching sports. Legit, I do not watch football. I do not watch baseball. I do not watch NASCAR. And none of it. I will watch surfing if I know who's surfing. So if we have a local guy, let's say Gavin goes out and he's on Australia, and I'm up and I'm going to be able to be up, I'm going to watch him surf. Or we have a couple Caitlyns. We have, Madison around here, not my Madison, a different Madison. We've got Anthony. We've got so many people that I'll watch them because it's a personal connection. I know them. I don't watch sports anymore because that reason right there. Everything gets political. Every company, not every company, I don't even say the big five. The big donors, the big sponsors, it's inevitable. Absolute power corrupts absolute. I think I just murdered that. That's what's happening, and I'm watching it firsthand. Yeah. Let's see. And if you don't, I need a tablet. I hate tablets, but I need one. If you don't stop it, this is going to be the NFL. They're going to start doing betting. They're going to start shoving propaganda on both sides. I'm not jumping into politics. I'm speaking third person point of view. It's going to happen. It's already started happening. And I see your comment. I'm going to move this. Golly. Facts, two wings. And politics, surfing, sports, it is exactly all. It's the same daggum bird. If you want the sport of surfing to stay pure, start paying attention. Legit start paying attention. And this goes, and I'm going to call out no surf competition by name, but I'm going to call out surf competitions. If you're so worried about another surf competition coming up to your area, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Flat out. I can understand if they're trying to do it on the same beach section as you, but if there's a north and a south beach, Who cares? Yes, yes, I get it. You're in here to make money. You do make a little bit of money off of the entries, but if you're doing it right, you're not making too much because you got to pay the judges, you got to pay your camera crew if you're having a camera crew. And if you want a camera crew to come out and live stream for you, hit us up. We will beat everybody's pricing. I guarantee it. Little self-promotion right there. You got to pay the judges. You got to pay your announcers. You got to pay the fuel to get there, the equipment costs. However, you're not there just for yourself alone. You are there to create a platform so the future generation of surfers who want to turn this into their job per se, because a professional surfer, that's their job. And that's going to be a whole different show about how these surfers get paid. Do they actually make a livable wage? While these mega corporations and even small businesses get away with paying them little to nothing to consistently promote their brand, but they think a t-shirt and a hat, or in my case, we'll say our wax bags that are ours for now, is enough. Yeah, sometimes they get paid, but to actually make a decent wage, most of these surfers do not. But I digress. You're there to create a platform for these young kids, semi-adults, to actually have a place to surf in a competition to get them to the next level. This gatekeeping of, well, my sponsors aren't going to be happy because there's another beach competition that's a mile or on the other section of the beach. Get over yourself. Legit, get over yourself. That's not why you're there. If that is why you're there, you're in it for the wrong reason and you're part of the problem. I'm just going to leave it at that. And there's a lot of competitions that do that. Just because you're amateur, semi-pro does not give you the right, unless you have the permits for that section. That's a whole different ballgame. But at the end of the day, surf competitions should not be controlled by their sponsors. It's your surf competition. Now, if you're a 501c3 and there's multiple surf competitions that are like that, that's a whole different topic because you have a board and so on and so forth. My personal opinion, don't agree with it. Don't like 501c3s for the most part, because all it takes is a few people to come in and completely ruin what you personally. I know a lot of people who set up 501c3s and it was epic. It was awesome. But you have to have a board, and then not my thing. Anyways. Sorry. I hope you cannot hear the mic moving. In my headphones, I can. My whole setup's different right now. Hold on, sorry. Hey, can you go see what that is, please? Put him in the backyard. Sorry, y'all. We are looking at possible studio space. It does make things a little difficult doing it at home. Oh, thank you for letting me know. What were they barking at? Oh my gosh. I miss having big. I don't want any more dogs after these. I'm so done with animals. I do miss big dogs. Like I'm talking big dogs. Like my Great Dane was 235 pounds. He was the giant side of the Great Dane. Anyways, back on topic. It's a Monday. At the end of the day, we talk about gatekeepers. We talk about sponsorship overreach. We talk about this. We talk about clicks. We talk about this surf beach. Don't like this surf beach. At the end of the day, this industry, the businesses in this industry, need to take a deep look at in here. What is the reason you're in this industry? Is it to promote your business? Okay, cool. Do it in an ethical way. Stop coming in and telling people how to run. And I'm not trying to tell people how to run their surf comps, their businesses. I am coming in and saying, if you want to keep surfing pure, this is what you need to do that, or you're part of the problem. Just like calling a race car red because it's painted red isn't being mean. It's just telling you the truth and facts. I speak from facts. It's our job. I I guess I'm stepping into a gatekeeper, sort of, per se. I don't even want to say that term because it's been negative. It there are If you have a voice to fight to keep surfing pure, do so. Do so in the proper way. This is one of those topics that is very hot in this industry because people are going to tend to think, well, you just don't like them because they're bigger than you. That's a very materialistic point of view. I'm looking at, are you making this culture? And it is a culture. Surfing is a culture. Surf industry is a culture. It's like the human race. We have multiple races within the human race, but we are all human. It's just the same thing in surfing. We are here for the real, most of us are here for what surfing does for us. And we want to give back. Well, what can we do for surfing? Well, we can promote the next generation. We can keep surfing pure. We can keep it safe. We can keep the dirty little political mumbo jumbo out of it. Because if us free surfers go out and surf, and the rule is you leave everything on the beach, your politics, your business mindset, your drama or no drama. When you go surf, you're there to surf. You're there to have fun, be courteous to others, teach if you're in the position to teach, and then hold the local law down. That's it. It should be the same thing with surf competitions. Just because you donate money doesn't mean you control it, in my mind, and in a lot of other people's mind. And I know if you look down deep inside, you can say the same thing. On the flip side of that is you have your independent surf brands. Smaller companies often focus on core surf culture, authenticity, community, but they face major challenges. Major challenges. They don't have the same budget. They can't sponsor as many athletes or any. They can't compete at a large scale marketing. So what happens? Big brands dominate visibility. They dominate. And smaller brands struggle to break through, even if they're deeply connected in the culture. This creates a divide, a huge divide, a cataclysmic divide. Core surfing and commercial surfing is what it's broken down to now. And depending on who you ask, the divide is, in fact, getting wider. So what do we do about it? You support local. You start supporting those who are true in heart. It doesn't take long to figure out who's in it for the right reasons. I have clawed, and this is coming from personal experience. I have clawed. I have dealt with other major brands trying to rip some of the things that I've done off flat out. I've been ghosted. I've been told there's no way you're going to be successful doing this by yourself. I have been told, oh, you're just being a copycat. I didn't know I was being a copycat. Okay. I've been told you're the new guy. I've been told, what do you know about surfing? You've only been doing this 4 years. Well, if I can get my degree, a 4-year degree in 2 years, and was on track for my master's, I think I could learn a thing or two very quickly about this industry. And when you're in it for the right reasons, it doesn't take long to learn. It's one of those, if it matters to you enough, you're going to learn. You're going to sit down. You're going to talk with surfers. I use Chris all the time just because he's a perfect example. Chris, my boy Chris Burdine. Couldn't stand the dude. I could not stand, and I never talked to him a day. All I did was watch. But it mattered to me to figure out why. Part of it was I listened to other people. And because I sat on the lineup and I'd listen and I watched and I paid attention to body language. But then when I actually sat down, he is one of my biggest supporters. Him and his old lady. Absolutely good people. I'm talking always checking in on me, always checking in on my daughter. Tips. And I'm not even talking business. That guy has done more to push my wax bags and me in general than all of my family combined and all of the close people combined. Everybody. Now, I'm not taking away from everybody else. I'm not taking away from the companies that have. You know, what you do behind the scenes, I have no clue. However, we have been blessed. I'm not trying to take away from any, like Space Coast Board Riders Club, Treasure Coast when I was down there with them. You know, I keep wanting to say Billy Slater, Belly Slater. Phil has done a lot of things. Phil, in fact, is one of the people that got us in to our first distributors. When I lived in Indian Harbor, we had a distributor right across the street from us, the big one, who helped price point everything, and they had their role in everything. But it took a guy who had sat down and talked with me and realized where my heart was, that had no connection to me whatsoever. That right there is what this should be. That's what the commercial side of surfing should be. Somewhere along the line, these companies, when they get super big, forget that. It's like that old saying, when you get rich, don't forget where you come from. What's the truth is, when you get a little bit of money, your true self comes out. It legitimately comes out. I've never had like straight crazy stupid money, like super, super wealthy. I've made really good money in some of the industries that I've done. Money will show you who you really are, and it will show you who your friends are and who your family is. And I'm telling you from experience, I've had, I'll put it out there, I've had $1 million jobs just get thrown in the trash because the person I had as a partner completely undercut me, completely stabbed me in the back. That's just how it is, and that's what's happening with the surf industry. You get a couple big surfers, get a couple dollars in their pocket, and you could go look at what the big, I'd say the big three, the big five, what kind of money did they make? What are they pushing? Who are they promoting? Are they legitimately promoting something that is real? And I'm going to tell you, this is all tied into it. It's corporate pressure. It's corporate control. It's industry influence. Surf Wax. Prime example. I don't have to call out any names with Surf Wax. Surf Wax is so unregulated, it's not even funny. It's not. What you think is a pure surf wax has junk in it, just like the food that's in your cabinet. It's just why you have high blood pressure, why you're diabetic, why you got the bubble belly. Because what you're being told that's in your food is not really what's in your food, but you won't go do your due diligence and do your homework. There are certain surf shops that are the exact same way. They're not even really surf shops. How can you call yourself a surf shop if you go in it and you start talking boards and you don't know crap about a board? How? or if you're only pushing certain. I'm not going to bash on China. I'm really not. This American ideology that it has to be made in America is stupid. Let me tell you something. Our little wax bags that we made, came up with the idea, was the very first person to do so. I take pride in that. If I were to have made them in America, it would have been a $50 bag, $75 bag. Any of y'all who have had my wax bags, legit, they're not a $50, $75 bag, $100 bag. $20, $19.95 at the most, to where I can make enough money to order another round, to where our distributors get their cut. And a lot of you surf shops, irritating as get out, I only deal with distributors. You realize I'm going to use my company, my product. You realize that if y'all would stop using distributors, prices could go down. If I didn't have to price point my stuff because there was 3 other people's fingers involved that didn't need to be involved, be cheaper. So we have them made in China. They're assembled here. They're packaged here. I wish I could do it here. It's just not possible. And let me tell you something else. This is the control, the influence, all wrapped up in a bag. You people pay $300-$400 for a wetsuit. That wetsuit don't cost but $50 to make, if that. Some of the higher end ones, the seamless ones, yes, it's a little bit more. But these products y'all paying for, there's no reason they should be that high. Even with tariffs, even with all the political mumbo jumbo we deal with, that is part of the problem. You guys are so fixated on, well, can I get sponsored by the Big Five? Can I get sponsored? Oh, well, this surfer has his name on it, and it's a super mega corporation. Y'all, come on. There's nothing wrong with buying nice things. There's really not. And this isn't about the cost of things. This is about the manipulation of the surf culture, the surf industry, the surf shops, the competitions. And it can be stopped. It can be stopped. Personally, from my personal experience dealing with this whole thing, it legitimately, and I've got a pretty hard, rock solid heart, it breaks my heart. It really does. It breaks my heart to see surf competitions fighting against each other. It breaks my heart when certain surf competitions are not willing to stand up for what's right. They're so worried about their sponsors instead of doing what's right for the culture itself. And honestly, it's really changed my view and how I handle myself now. And legitimately, it's really changed my future outlook on future sponsorships that I hand out. Because it all this affects it all. It affects everything. And the crazy thing is, corporate influence is needed. It is. It's absolutely needed. But it's a double-edged sword. Are you in it for the business side of surfing? Are you in it for the commercial side of it? Are you only worried about surf competitions? Are you only worried about yourself? Are you trying to be I'm not going to drop names, but are you trying to be some of the top tier? You promote this, this, and this, the commercial side, or are you trying to be on the core side of surfing? The legit, this is who we are. This is how it's changed my life. You can still be commercial surfing. Legit. I do surf competitions. I waited 3.5 years before I legit wanted to wait 4. Legitimately, I wanted to wait 4 full years, but a couple people saying, dude, just go. That's okay. Go have fun. Go see where you stand. You can be both. You legitimately can be both. But my question to you guys is surfing too far gone? Is it already past the saving point where it's become fully commercialized? I don't think it is. I think it's at that point. I think now, because we've lived through the NFL, we've lived through all the major sports, all of them, the Olympics, everything. We've already seen what was it, the snowboarding federation or whoever try to come in and take over surfing. Like I've mentioned before, the big names completely, and some of them had to file bankruptcy and all that good stuff. So what does that tell you? If you can't budget, if you can't grow with the market, what are you doing? That's a whole different topic. And I think people need to really ask the big question. Is surfing still about freedom and lifestyle? Or is it becoming just another commercialized sport? Are you willing to stand up? I'm all in. I am 100% all in. We're working on contracts to get out and bring you live surfing events. Legit. So you could see, and so these kids have a platform to do it on. I wasn't the first. It's the first in our area, kinda. Um, there's one or two. I think there's one other big. He's pretty big. Done a lot of good things, and is still doing a lot of good things. But we're all in. I'm looking at actual commercial real estate to where I can go in, set up shop, have a beautiful setup to where we're going to give you the opportunities to come in. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to be, I don't want it ESPN, but I want it ESPN because it matters to me that much to promote these kids, to promote the real, honest core surf competitions. That's what matters to me. I don't care if I ever get on the big stage. And you've got to decide and I'm talking to my business owners, my surf competition guys, all of y'all have to decide, am I willing to stand up? Am I willing to save surfing? Is my competition got to be controlled by my sponsor? Or am I willing to put my money? When I ran for office back home, it was my money. I paid for my campaign. I paid for my signs. I paid for everything. That's what it's going to take. I can't spoon feed it to you any easier than that, my guys. Now, my surfer parents, my future surfers, get behind surf brands that are about the lifestyle. Get behind the surf coaches, the surf schools, the surf shops, the small business owners, I'm talking all the way, there's 5 billion t-shirt makers. There's 5 billion of them. That's a really high number. But you get my drift. Do your homework. Actually, legit. All your products come from damn near the same place. If it's legit scaled size. We get our products damn near from the same companies. That should tell you something. So when you go into that store and you're paying $85 for a t-shirt that legitimately should be being sold 20, 25, 35, maybe $45, maybe, you should know. I'm not speaking anything new. If you've just taken any business course, or you've studied business, or you've run a business, or you've helped businesses on that side of things, then you know a business is a business is a business. You make a product, you have to make a X amount of money to pay, to resupply, pay your overhead. And if your overhead is making you, I'm sorry, if you pay more than $65, that's even too high. If you pay that much for a t-shirt, you're dumb. And I've had some really expensive suits. Really, I've been into all that too, and it does feel good sometimes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude, it feels great when I put on a suit, when I get cleaned up, clean haircut, get the beard looking good. Feels good. It feels good to look good. But at the end of the day, especially in this industry, this lifestyle, it's gonna kill it. You cannot have products that cost so much money in an industry. People say surfing is not expensive. You've lost your mind. Surfing is expensive. Boards are not cheap. Good boards. I'm not talking about your Costco, Walmart, soft top BS. And even those can be a couple $100 if they're good ones. Take into account how much wax you go through. Take into account, once you really start learning what fin sizes do what fin setups do what, how many fins have you lost, how many boards have you broken. You're traveling, let's say you travel just the East Coast. Fuel, room, food. It's not cheap. And that's the important thing. This industry should not be pay to play. Not surfing. You want to pay to play the other sports, that's fine, because it's not a true cultural thing. I can't really say that about soccer for a lot of countries, but at the end of the day, you're not playing soccer when you're 65, 75, 85. You are surfing. Going and running for 5 hours, couple hours, ages you quite quickly. Getting on a surfboard, even if you're 65, 75, 85, and you're on a East Coast Florida, let's just say at the Jetty Park, and it's a beautiful day. Let's say you're 80 years old and you've got your log and it's 1 to 2 foot, and that's perfect for you. And you could be out there for a very long time. It cleanses your soul, gets you grounded. You can't do that with any other sport. I'm going to close with this. Corporate influence isn't all good, nor is it all bad. But if you want to understand modern surfing, you really have to understand the business behind it. I look forward to talking with you guys next episode. It's not going to be as aggressive as this one, but sometimes we got to throw them in there. Until next time.